You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show podcast on KPEL965.com.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studios. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
And the time has run out for this storm to really weaken.
Hurricane Milton just under a Category 5 with 155 mile an hour max winds in the update just out. Forecast to hit late tonight, early tomorrow. And Fox meteorologist Janice Dean adds.
A catastrophic landfall and probably damage all up and down the west coast of Florida.
Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Cronister just told Fox.
There's still time to get out if you're in the evacuation zones. Other than that, you better be prepared.
A lot of people have boarded up and left from the Tampa Bay region to the Fort Myers area. Sarasota could get a direct hit. Fox's weather's Britta Merwin's there.
This is the strongest storm that we have seen in over 100 years. So no one has seen what it looks like to throw 10 feet of storm surge into this part of the Gulf Coast. You have a deep Gulf of Mexico, and then for hundreds of miles, you have a coastal shelf. All of that deep water piling on top of that shelf shoves right into the coastline.
Some of these areas still have debris not cleaned up from Hurricane Helene's hit less than 2 weeks ago. Former President Trump's been critical of the federal hurricane response, calling it the worst ever, as Democrats accuse Republicans of spreading misinformation. The Trump campaign is calling what Bob Woodward is reporting in a new book made-up stories. He alleges when COVID hit, then President Trump sent COVID tests to Russian President Vladimir Putin at a time when tests were scarce here. Vice President Harris told the CBS Late Show with Stephen Colbert.
He thinks Vladimir Putin is his friend. What about the American people? They should be your first friend.
Now, they can start casting ballots this morning in Arizona, one of the 6 states considered a toss-up.
Voters in the key Sunbelt state can start in-person early voting today. Early voting in Arizona runs through November 1st. There are now 41 states, plus D.C., that have launched some form of early voting, either in person or by sending mail-in ballots.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. America's listening to Fox News.
If your approach to everyday aches and pains is to mask them, feel better for a few hours only to have the pain return and then repeat the cycle all over again, it's time to try Relief Factor. And the good news is Relief Factor makes that easy. Their 3-week quick start is just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Instead of masking pain, Relief Factor helps eliminate it. How? Well, its unique formula of ingredients helps support your body's response to inflammation. Relief Factor was developed by doctors. It's 100% drug-free, and for so many people, the results are game-changing, even life-changing. So give it a try. Right now, their 3-week quick start is just $19.95. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. See how in a few weeks or even days, Relief Factor can reduce your pain. When you feel better, life is just better. So don't mask pain. Fight it naturally.
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
And your 9 o'clock code is 782. 782 is your code for a chance to win cash with News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Hi, I'm Kristen Chenoweth. When many servicemen and women return home, they carry with them the invisible wounds of war. But thanks to the life-saving power of the human-animal bond, professionally trained service dogs can help. If you're a veteran or know a veteran struggling with post-traumatic stress or traumatic brain injury, please go to AmericanHumane.org to learn about their Pups for Patriots program, which provides specially trained service dogs free of charge to veterans in need. Let's help our veterans heal from the invisible wounds of war.
Bikers Against Child Abuse empowers children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. For more information, visit BACAworld.org. Our helpline is 866-885-9474. BACA, breaking the chains of abuse.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, all. Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. What a day. Great day to be with you and praying for our friends. And, of course, Florida, who's getting ready to get whacked again. A natural phenomenon is all it is. That's amazing, too. Anyway, we're Moon Griffon Show, 844-766-6607. Got a special guest getting ready to go to her. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. It's amazing. It's in Tampa. I'll get to this in a little bit today, but they had a horrendous hurricane in the 1800s and another bad one in the 1920s. And they're going to tell you how this is worse than those. And it's not. It's just so many. How many people lived in the Tampa Bay area then? How many people even lived in Florida? I mean, when they start doing all this global warming, look what the man, people ought to look at people like they're nuts. It's a different time. It's nothing to do with that. Hurricanes go, and they're going to hit the United States. They've been doing that since time began. They're going to always do it. I don't care if you drive an electric vehicle or not. And by the way, if you're driving an electric vehicle, good luck. I hope you left week before last. All righty, let's jump gears. Renee Moore joins us with the Trucker Association. Renee, how you doing?
I'm pretty good, Moon. It always stuns me when people talk about the weather, because I'm sure the people that lived through Hurricane Andrew or Irma or any of the ones that existed before social media, I'm sure they thought they were really powerful and strong hurricanes then. So,
oh, no, they were horrendous. They were no different than what we're seeing now. The difference is the lies from the government and people picking up and running with this stuff like they're crazy. And by the way, I remember Andrew. I think, hit Florida and didn't stop till it wiped us out. I mean, it was a horrendous hurricanes. Unfortunately, this is going to continue whether you driving an EV or not eating meat or you eating meat. It's.
Thank you.
You know, and these people. I just pray for our friends in Florida. We've seen it we had a hurricane hit us this year, and those people are still trying to recover from that. So it's just our prayers go out for them, because I know any of this stuff, if it hits me, it's going to be just as devastating.
Yeah, that thing is a monster for sure. I told my husband it almost looks like it's two hurricanes in one.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's no doubt about it. But they're not bigger and badder, those ones. The one that hit Galveston that killed, 5,000, 25,000 people? It was just 1,900. It just wiped everything above it. Everybody forgets that. It was one of the worst ones they ever hit, So, hey, listen, first of all, it's good to hear from you, and I'm glad you called, because I know in the last few days we've had several people on talking about the need to change what we're doing in the state, or people are not going to be able to afford the insurance. And, girl, you know as much as anybody, because you deal with the trucking companies, and I got a lot of friends in that business, and I know people that have actually moved to other states. You do too. And we got to keep this in the forefront. I think tax reform is so important, but this is just as important. And so tell me where we're going, and are we going to make a big deal about it next year again?
Yeah, Moon. And, I mean, obviously we think changing the tax climate and tax reform is incredibly important. But when you recruit businesses or try to recruit businesses into the state of Louisiana, and they start to look at their liability insurance, and heaven forbid they have a fleet of trucks to do anything that they're going to do, but they've also got employees. And all those employees have to buy insurance. And so this insurance climate in the state of Louisiana has got to be changed. We are absolutely going to make another run at it. I'm sure you've heard from lawmakers over the last few months. They've been holding these monthly hearings and focusing on different topics. Mm-hmm. And so we will have another one of those this coming Friday. And then we hope that all these culminate into a really good, hearty, bold package of bills that will be filed that, for us, has got to change the trajectory of insurance in the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, and by the way, let's talk a little bit about the people you represent. Let's talk about what they're telling you. And I want you to give us some examples, if you don't mind, Renee, because I think using examples of what people are telling you, I mean, I can use example of what's happening in my health care because it's happening to me. I ain't seen my property tax increases, but all that happens, and you got, on top of that, insurance costs increase. So talk a little bit about what they're going through with these truckers. And I don't know if you're still in the business, but a lot of people are.
Yeah, Moon. And so what has happened and what has occurred is that truckers, and I know you talk to the loggers as well, loggers, anybody in the farming industry, they have actively packed up and have moved out of the state of Louisiana. We know that we are a state that has a loss of our citizens, the brain drain that has moved out to go find jobs. But you've got my members that have had multi-generational, their parents and their grandparents started these businesses, but just over the cost of insurance, especially over the last 10 years is what a lot of them tell me. They have seen, I have a trucker, his insurance 10 years ago for one truck cost him $5,000 to cover that truck. And then I want you to think about that same exact truck costing you $30,000.
You know what that is, Renee? That's the Bell Edwards. That's the Bell Edwards effect. That's the trial lawyer effect.
Oh,
Bell Edwards. Bell Edwards watched everything skyrocket. Didn't do anything about anything. That 8 of them 10 years was under Bell.
And Moon, he doubled down on the things like expanding Medicaid, which I know we're not here to talk about. But, I mean, I just fundamentally have a strong belief that much government in our life is never going to lead to anything good. And we all experience it in the cost of inflation today. Every time we go to the store and buy food or do anything, everything costs so much more today because of government, injecting that money into the economy. It's just never going to end well. But what these guys have seen, and it's coupled with the fact that they can tell you 10 years ago, 15 years ago, if they would ding somebody's mirror or something would happen in a parking lot, that mirror would cost them $900. They would pay out the $900, make sure that the car is fixed and the person is okay, and everybody would go about their business. But our culture in the state of Louisiana with this jackpot justice mindset, it has just permeated this thought that you can win a lawsuit and it's a paycheck now.
Yep. Oh, it might be a life-changing paycheck depending on how big it is.
Yeah, some of those fraud cases in New Orleans where we absolutely were not at fault. We absolutely were not the cause of the accident. We have video evidence. We can prove that, we were not at fault. We shelled out $150,000 to these people. Do people not think that shelling out that kind of money for a lawsuit is going to affect the price of their insurance? Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it. But, you got ample stories of people are telling you all this. And what are they saying now that nothing's been done to change that directive and the angle of this thing? I mean, the projection of it. They haven't really done. We haven't done anything to change the projection. Have we? Maybe you'll change my mind, and we have.
No, I'm not. There's nothing I can say to change your mind because what you're saying is accurate. We passed some bills, this, over this last legislative session, but nothing really big enough. And we also know in the insurance market, anything that we do at the state capitol is going to take a couple of years before it takes effect. But we have got to do something really big and really bold, similar to all the things that they did in the state of Florida. That was a big package of bills that really changed the way the trial bar behaves in that state. And we have not done anything like that. And what I hear from my truckers is a sense of desperation. The ones that are left, they have 2 insurance carriers that will write their insurance. A lot of times, one of those insurance carriers, one of my small guys tells a story of that when he got an insurance quote, it was half of his gross revenue. I want you to think about that. What used to be your biggest cost was your labor has now turned into their biggest cost being insurance. Like there's something wrong with our market in the state of Louisiana when that is what is happening.
Yes, and you say that's happening with me with health insurance, and with y'all, it's happening in the trucking business. And insurance, if you look at insurance, homeowners, vehicle insurance, any kind of liability insurance you have, that's your biggest check now. That's the biggest check I write. You realize my premiums are getting ready to be almost 3 times my house note. 3 times my house note. That's just on, that's not counting vehicle insurance. That's not counting homeowners insurance. It's not counting life insurance, none of that. That's what it's going to cost me, and that's out of hand. That's really out of hand. But you guys and people and ladies and gents in the trucking business, I mean, y'all paying a price for something that is phenomenal. Now, every now and then my lawyer buddies will send me a story about something happening in Florida, about how an insurance company cheated them. I'm not saying the insurance companies ain't gonna have some problems, but man, the trial lawyers are making a killing here.
And Moon, I just like to remind people, my truckers especially are not big fans of the insurance companies either. We think there are a lot of times they settle cases. As I mentioned earlier, we have video evidence proving that we were not in the wrong, but it kind of lends itself also to the fact that we have such a horrid judicial system in many areas in the state of Louisiana. And so that insurance company looks at that judicial seat and they say, this is probably not going to be a good outcome for you, trucker. And so we would rather settle this case, even though we know you're not at the wrong. We would rather settle this case, write the check, and we're just going to move on with our life, because what happens is that settlement gets baked into the cost of our premiums.
Well,
so it's really no skin off of the backs of the insurance companies. It comes off the backs of all of us.
Yeah, it's. I know that some of the insurance companies said, well, they need to settle more cases. Why don't we have more trials? Well, I bet you the trials will lead to even more money being put out, because slick lawyers can win cases.
We don't know. That's right. We just don't know. And we might end up with one of those nuclear verdicts because we have the deep pockets in the courtroom. Yeah. And so that's always a concern. You don't want to end up with a $400 million, claim against you, or, a court decision, because that would annihilate a trucker.
And by the way, yourself, a lot of times the jury looks at it when it's a rich truck company. They always think of business people being filthy rich when they're not. Let me take a break.
Exactly it.
Her name is Renee Moore, head of the Truckers Association. We'll come back and wrap up with her. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. When you think about how you'll spend your money in retirement, what comes to mind? Probably travel, sunny beaches, and spoiling your grandchildren. But a recent survey found that over 30% of every dollar a retiree spends goes to taxes. Baby boomers were told for years to save money in their IRAs and 401ks and pay taxes later. Well, now that day has arrived, and boomers are shocked to see a third of their money going back to Uncle Sam. John Blanchard and the Matthew James Financial Group can help. What if you could protect all or most of your retirement wealth from future tax rate increases? Achieve a zero or near zero effective tax rate for most of your retirement years. Find out more. 337-366-8366. Isn't it time you got a second opinion on your wealth and retirement outlook? Learn how you could potentially kick the IRS out of your IRA. 337-366-8366 and online at MatthewJames.com.
Louisiana is unique. The food, the festivals, even the bugs. It's termite season. Did you know termites are responsible for over $1 billion worth of damage in Louisiana alone? For over 60 years, J&J Exterminating has been shielding homes and businesses. 100% guaranteed against termites, pests, and mosquitoes. Louisiana-owned, customer-focused. J&J Exterminating.
Call him today, make the pests go away. J&J Exterminating.
Get the shield.
Yeah. Folks, you heard us talking about Raging Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning, and Raging Cajun delicious line of gumbo, black-eyed peas, shrimp and grits, jambalaya, seafood bisque, etouffee, red beans, roux, jalapenos. Raging Cajun's products are made right here in Acadiana now. Thanks to all of y'all, Raging Cajun is one of the fastest growing brands in grocery stores. Raging Cajun, the original Cajun seasoning. Forget the rest, ask for the best. Ask them for that Raging Cajun. It's good, folks. Trust me. I love it. You will too.
When the power goes out.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is an honor to be with you. Matthew James Business Tax reduction hotline, 844-766-6607 is another number. Renee Amore, my special guest, and, of course, with the Truckers Association. Renee, let me ask you a question. It's a concern for me, for y'all, because I think when we talk about y'all in the trucking business and everything else, I worry about something. So last year we went through this, went back and forth. Jeff vetoed something. Mm-hmm. So is a problem going to be that we now go to tax reform and we move on and we forget and we don't concentrate on this anymore? And I'm asking that question. I'm being serious with you. It was my big concern that, see, in Louisiana, and I don't have to tell you this, Renee, but I am. We do something, just a little bit, maybe not. We tried, and then we move on. We don't ever go back and fix it.
Yep.
So I'm just asking, is that a concern like it is for me?
Moon, and when you say we do something, sometimes we don't even complete what we've done. We take a run at it, we hit a little brick wall, and we turn around and walk away, and we don't come back for 20 years. No, That's obviously a very, very deep concern of mine, which is why I'm so grateful that you continue to remind folks that this issue was not resolved, that we've still got a lot of pressing issues in the state, but this should be a core issue that the lawmakers in Baton Rouge are focused on and concerned about. I do believe that there is a group of them that know that this was not solved and that they have to come back with a fix. They tell me continually, I promise you we are coming back, because they know. I mean, we are in the middle of everything that you have in your home, every food you eat, the clothing on your back. And so as much as that insurance costs us, that is built into the cost of your product. So you are putting every citizen in the state of Louisiana at a disadvantage because it's costing them more for everything they touch.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me that people don't want to solve this problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We do in Louisiana. We pat ourselves on the back, step in the right direction, or don't do anything and call it a step in the right direction. I remember when they did tort reform back in Edwards. And, boy, I was told it's a great step in the right direction. I remember matter of fact, when they did the tort reform, back when Edwards was the governor, and I said, before they figured whatever they figured out, I said, if they come back and say, step in the right direction, we've done nothing, what's the next step? That was 3 years ago, maybe 4. Yeah. And I'm still waiting for the next step, and I'm going, what are we doing here? So when somebody says, and we passed 200-some tort reform laws and nothing, it didn't work, well, maybe we're not focusing on the right thing.
Yeah, maybe we're passing watered-down bills that we know a trial lawyer governor will sign. I mean, I understand the political reality because I have to live in it and lobby in it, but this has gotten beyond political reality, and something has to be done. I mean, I don't care who the governor is anymore. You cannot continue to let truckers leave the state of Louisiana. Yeah. And look, you've got loggers that are just like closing up shop. But many of these businesses are going to other states, and so you know what they're taking with them? Their tax dollars. So that tax reform plan you want to do, like we are losing tax dollars on a daily basis because we're losing businesses.
Well, the other thing is,
get your priorities straight.
Yeah, you can't keep paying for all this stuff. And I don't I don't know what to tell them. I know this. We got a lot of problems to fix. And we got to move the needles, not by a step in the right direction. And if that's what we're going to do, then we're not going to see anything get better. And that's a shame because we got so many good people here. And all these companies you're talking about leaving, none of them wanted to leave. Matter of fact, we had a couple of them on as guests. They do not want to leave.
Yep.
Anyway,
yes,
all right.
They don't.
All right, Renee. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. God bless. All righty, folks. That's going to wrap that up. A lot more to cover as the program unfolds. Kamala Harris saying, give me 4 years more like Joe Biden. She can't answer nothing, folks. It's almost a shame. Anyway, I got a couple clips we want to play. You don't want to miss the brilliant. Could be the commander-in-chief in the United States of America, Kamala Harris. We'll be right back. with 5 locations. I always make it a point to visit Superior Grill. I love the food there. It's authentic Mexican food with a Louisiana twist. That menu has all your favorites: nachos, quesadillas, enchiladas, tacos, fajitas, hand-cut steaks, and the best margaritas in the state. You go to Superior for lunch or dinner, and folks, you're going to thank me for it. My lovely bride and I eat at Superior Grill every chance we get. They're on Line Avenue in Shreveport, Government Street, and Holland Road in Baton Rouge, and they're on St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. But look, their new location in Lafayette is now open. Lafayette, you've been clamoring for it, and now they are open on Collie Saloon. I want to see Superior Grill packed with folks from Acadiana. The best Mexican food with a Louisiana twist is found at Superior Grill. Shreveport, Baton Rouge, and New Orleans, and now Acadiana on Collie Saloon in Lafayette. This is Moon Griffon. I will see you at Superior Grill. This is Moon Griffon talking about another great Louisiana company, Hudco Roofing. Louisiana has some pretty crazy weather at times. Torrential rains, gusty winds, especially up north, hail, and of course, hurricanes. You got to remember your roof protects everything, you and your family and most of your possessions. And that's where Hudco Roofing comes in. These folks aren't just your average roofers. They're the #1 roofing company in the state. Whether you need a repair or a brand new roof, Hudco Roofing has you covered. Hudco is a CertainTeed Select shingle master and takes every roof all the way down to the decking to make sure there's no hidden damages. Hudco Roofing is also a state certified installer of the Fortified Roofing System. And that's a big deal, especially during hurricane season. Hudco specializes in residential and commercial roofing systems and coatings. Anywhere in Louisiana, you can get a free roof inspection and quote from Hudco Roofing. So go to HudcoRoofing.com. This is Moon Griffon. I trust Hudco Roofing of Louisiana, and so can you.
Come in and try the good.
Did you know that every year, 11 to 1,200 children are experiencing homelessness in Lafayette Parish? The Gifting Grace Project, Acadiana's Homeless Children's Outreach, works to provide and support these children throughout the year. Every donation goes to support these children and provide them with backpacks with school supplies, hygiene products, snacks, and more. Go to giftinggraceproject.com to learn more information or text GGP to 53555 and donate today. Thank you.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SavedByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking. Now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SavedByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SavedByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
This hour of the Moon Griffon Show is brought to you by Champines, located in the Oil Center. Champines, going the extra mile.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. It is the Moon Griffon Show, Hump Day. Glad to be with you. Glad you're with us. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, if you want to be part of the program. 844-766-6607 is the number. Let's go to Clarence in St. Bernard. Clarence, what's up?
Hello, Mr. Griffon. Moon, if you give me maybe 2.5, 3 minutes, I'll go through it and then we can spew, because that way it'll help the callers. I'm going to recommend, it's up to you guys and the citizens, satellite phones might be the better way to go now. Direct sell by Starlink, that's with Elon Musk. You have Connecta Mobile, even Eric Prince, formerly of Blackwater's offering, and you've got the satellite phone store. From what I remember, I think it's just to start out with might be $400 and about $75 a month. We're having problems. The number 2 thing bringing up is this tracking. A lot of people, even family, thought it was funny with me. I said, you open up a portal, you have 5 people, it could be 10, and 10 becomes 20, and out of those 20, I guarantee you there can be at least 1 or 2 bad guys. There's been things with the either being jumped at ATMs or immigrants putting, like I believe I have mine, a tracking device. That sounds kooky, but I truly believe I see the same faces all the time now. Going to recommend stopping the Comcast. I don't know if the governor can do that, along with the. There's certain things we can do to benefit our citizens instead of like, well, you didn't make a law to, not the governor, but other people develop this technology like Comcast and SmartCast. All the stuff about smart devices is not all it's cracked up to be, as you know.
Let me ask you a question.
Here.
Clarence. What's the point? What's the point you're trying to make?
Well, I know that you get the word out. I know that you care and the governor cares, and there's others, including, Governor Abbott and others. We don't even see their faces. You don't see. I'm trying to benefit all of us, Mr. Griffin. And before I go, some books you'll probably like or recommend. This is just individually. In a Village Where There Is No Doctor, The Ultimate Survivor, The Ultimate Survivor Guide, Emergency Preparedness for Every Disaster by Joseph and Amy Alton. Now, the second one, that's the authors, Joseph and Amy Alton, The Ultimate Survival Guide. Yeah. The other one, In a Village Where There Is No Doctor, that's just because of the way things are going. We're being cut off. I don't know if you know who Mr. John B. Wells is, or Midnight or Caravan to Midnight, Monday through Friday about 9 to 11. The other night, he's got a lot of good callers. Mrs. Paula Olson, just a little suggestions there. Lastly, on YouTube by Federal Expression, you got things like the Dan Smoot Report under their, I think, home. But on the playlist, if you scroll down to God, Family, and Country Rally, I think you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I just want to say thank you for giving me the time, and I'll shut up and say thank you.
All right, take care. All right, I want to go back to Renee Amore real quick. Renee and them, I've had guests on. I had Tiger Joyce, we had Atlanta Venable on. Every day we did something. It was about. It's like I think it's called. I don't know if it's Tort Reform Week or Lawsuit Abuse Week or whatever it was. And that's why I had them on for 3 days in a row. I think it's a shame if we don't go back, and I think you people agree with me. Most people still think insurance is our biggest headache. It's the biggest bill in my house by far now. If you count your health insurance, your homeowners, your vehicle insurance, people in business, liability insurance with vehicles and things of that nature, it becomes my biggest bill. And it's not even close anymore. Used to, years ago, your biggest bill was probably your house note. And she mentioned something over the last 10 years. 8 of them the governor was Bill Edwards, trial lawyer extraordinaire, who hurt us. And he hurt us in that, too, because he never changed anything. And now change becomes so hard to do. And it shouldn't be hard to do. Like Renee said, this ought to be easy. And it really should be. My fear is that what's going to take place is it's going to be forgotten. We're going to forget. We're going to just totally forget all the things we have to do. I believe in what Landry and them do. Matter of fact, we have Richard Nelson coming on. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow. I didn't even look at the schedule, but he's going to come explain what they're trying to do with the tax deal. There's things to like about it, no doubt about it. Absolutely. And I hope it's what we can bite into. My big thing is the spending and the spending cap. Those things can get addressed, and we may have a really good deal going on what Landry's trying to propose. I'm not saying it is or not. I'm just saying it could be. And we're going to have to start not biting an elephant one bite at a time. We got to cut the whole leg off and eat the whole leg, because we can't keep doing this piecemeal stuff. Band-Aid stuff doesn't work. It just doesn't work. If you're going to have a heart attack, a Band-Aid doesn't work. And Louisiana has to wake up, and the citizens are really asking. This is, as my buddy Paul, who calls in periodically, says, we gave Republicans the governorship, every statewide position, almost every congressman until we handed one back to the Democrats, and 2/3 in the House and 2/3 in the Senate. Why is this not easier? Why is this not easier to correct? And we got so many states around us that are doing some good stuff, and we need to be copycats. So I'm afraid that the insurance stuff is going to fall by the wayside. I'm afraid we're going to be so much into tax reform, which is, by the way, just as important. But we've gone through this whole year, and there was some things done with property they're bragging about, and I hope all that comes true. But what about vehicles and car vehicles and this business insurance that we got to pay? That's costing a lot and causing companies to leave. If we're not going to address that, I don't know if tax reform fixes everything. I think you got to be able to do more than one thing. And this insurance stuff is starting to, I mean, I know for me, I got one place I can go for health insurance. And look, I looked in all those, Medicare and all that stuff, but for what we do, it ain't going to fit what we need to do. So I'm getting a $420 a month increase on my health insurance. I'm not the only one. I'm telling y'all, other people have called and said, man, I'm did the same thing. So you're at $32.99, and don't forget the 09 cent. I don't know if I have the 09 cent. I mean, I got one company. What if there was 3 or 4 competing? How many companies are competing for your car insurance now? You know, I got a buddy of mine that's a trial lawyer. He's been on this program before. And every time they find something that insurance companies do wrong, they put it out there. They send it to me. I never defended the insurance companies. The only thing I ever said was insurance companies are not running all the advertisement pounding trial lawyers like trial lawyers are pounding insurance companies. And if insurance companies, local insurance companies had that kind of money, they'd be pounding back. But they know they're in a war they cannot win when it comes to spending money on advertisement. That's why they're not doing it. But I'm still watching TVs where, you know, talking about all these insurance companies. Well, I'm not backing the insurance company. I'm not saying, look at the insurance company, boy, they solid. I'm not doing that. That's never come out of my mouth. But every now and then, these insurance companies, when they don't do their job and they don't pay people, I have no problem with somebody going and get them. It's some of the things that they're trying to do where insurance trial lawyers are not making money on car wrecks, and they get an extra $250,000 on something that costs $20,000 to fix. I mean, that's the problem. So something that costs $20,000 to make everything right, we got $200,000 settlement, and the lawyer's going to get their cost and at least 35, 40%. So 50% of it's going to the trial lawyer and 50% to whoever won the case. And that person said, man, I got an extra $100,000 in my pocket. Pretty good deal. Who wouldn't want that? So we better do something about this. All the economic development we're talking about is going to be in trouble without the help of insurance rates being changed and lowered. Just telling you. All right, we got to take a break. 844-766-6607. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show. I've been telling you about Schumacher Homes for a long time. Now, for a limited time, you can choose from 5 different financing offers and pick one that works best for you. Whether you're an active duty, military, or veteran, you can take advantage of the exclusive VA construction loan offer. You can lock in 30-year fixed financing for as low as 3.875. How about that? Looking to stay in your home and start construction right away? A stay-in-your-home loan might be right for you. With this option, you can stay in your home during construction and not worry about moving twice. And for you first-time home buyers, we're not going to forget you. For a limited time, they're offering 30-year fixed financing as low as 3.875. Other financing offers include no-cost refinancing, conventional loans, and FHA construction loans. If you're thinking of building your dream custom home, there's no time like the present to start building. SchumacherHomes.com. SchumacherHomes.com. Let them build your dream home. They're building dream homes one at a time. With the summer heat here, let's talk about your AC. You're looking for a reliable, locally owned company that you can trust? Call Adapt Concepts AC and Heating. They have been serving all of Acadiana, the surrounding area, and the Gulf of Mexico for over 6 years. For your home or business, Adapt Concepts AC and Heating has you covered with certified technicians specializing in everything from residential to large commercial HVAC systems available 24/7. These guys are focused on providing professional quality work and ensuring customer satisfaction every step of the way. You want the professionals? You want the best? This is them. Don't miss this summer special. 0% financing, up to $3,000 off qualifying high-efficiency equipment. Not only that, they will throw in a free 12-year part and labor warranty. That's right, 12 years part and labor. Wow. Don't you want to know more about them? Call them at 337-408-8202. That's 337-408-8202. Or go to the website, adapt-ac.com. That's adapt-ac.com.
Hey, folks, it's Joe.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show is Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline. If you'd like to be part of the program, your opportunity to be a voice. Go to phone lines. Mr. Tim, what's going on?
Moon, you know, it's funny. I just got off the phone not an hour ago with a high school buddy up in Northeast Louisiana, and he writes for a national company. He's been an insurance agent for decades for a national company. And he's just a small independent guy, you know. Well, they quit writing homeowners in Louisiana 2 months ago when it comes up for renewal. They're not renewing. So last month, just this one independent agent in Northeast Louisiana, Richland Parish, had to rewrite, had to sign up with another independent company that's still writing in Louisiana. Rewrote 48 homeowners last month. 48 in Richland Parish. That's insane.
Yeah,
Multiply
that's
that
not
by the whole 64 parishes.
Yeah, but Richland Parish is not even a big parish. That's a lot for that parish.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
it might be a big parish for its landmass, but it's not a big parish for its people. But that tells you a lot right there, Tim.
Oh my God, yeah. I mean
But
that's
Tim,
another
here-
one. That's
You know, here's the big problem, and you know this as well as I do. You're not fixing anything now to show results later. If you don't fix them now, there will be no results later. And the more we put it off, the worse it's going to get. And then pretty soon they're not going to be able to fix it because nobody's going to come here. That's what I don't understand.
Be good results,
huh?
There's going to be results. It just ain't going to be good results.
Yeah, that's
In
not.
other words, if they don't do anything, the results are going to be bad because people can't. I mean, my car insurance on a 2020 Honda CRV is more expensive than the homeowners on 2 rental houses I have, and that's with the addition of having renters in the house. How is that possible?
Yeah, I'm telling you, the biggest bill I got in my house by far is my insurance bills. And the vehicle bills keep going up and up and up and up. And yet we sit here and we claim all this tort reform and all this stuff. But, and Tim, this is not working here for the people in Louisiana. And so every time we take a step in the right direction, my favorite thing to do, we really do nothing. I know you're going to remember this if you listen to me at all. Okay? When they did it,
I try not to, but
I don't blame you. But remember 3 years ago they did tort reform bill, maybe 3 or 4, and they said step in the right direction. Well, what was the next step? What was the next step the next year? No steps have been taken since. And so we did a step in the right direction while everybody else is driving 100 miles an hour. We take a step. Well, there wasn't much of a step because nobody's seen the difference. So,
Moon, this is the biggest problem that really nobody's talking about. Okay, you got people that are going to have to rent because they can't afford to buy a house because maybe they can afford the house but they can't afford the insurance. You got people that are going to have to catch a city bus to get to work because they can't afford the insurance on the car. They might can afford the car note, which is already high, but they can't afford the insurance. I mean, we are taking people out of a mobility situation, and when you don't have mobility, you don't have the opportunity. I mean, you are way low on opportunities to try to make something out of yourself.
Well, that's why cheap gas, cheap food is so important. And guess what else? Not going to put yourself in debt and printing money that drives inflation up. Those three things are all rolling right now, and nobody wants to fix it.
Also,
the
insurance is also at least a third of that equation right now, and it's bad.
But can you imagine what Florida's going to go through with 2 major hurricanes in 1 year? We've had them. We've had them hit in Louisiana, and it's not going to go down. It's going to go up.
No, I don't disagree there. But the one thing they have that we don't have is they got a lot more people paying in. So there's a little bit more of a buffer there, obviously. But
I believe,
nonetheless, it's not a good situation.
Florida and Texas are so big and have done so well. They're going to weather the storm. They're going to weather the storm and come back. We don't even have that, and we can't weather it. I mean, it's just phenomenal. We're doing it to ourselves, and we're seeing businesses. I can't imagine how many truckers are out there going, man, I got to move. I've talked to them. I know that's what they're saying.
Well, I tell you this, Florida nor Texas, neither one of those states, neither one of their annual budgets is 48% from the federal government. I promise you that.
Yeah, ours is probably even more than that now. But I would say no, it's not. And look, they take federal money too. Don't get me wrong, but at least in DeSantis and Abbott, they've even said we don't want the federal money because we're not getting tied into what we got to pay back. Anyway, let me go. Appreciate the call.
Yes, sir.
844-766-6607. Yeah, this is a fight. This is a fight we're not winning right now. That's why when Renee came on. And I meant to ask, what's the next move? What's going to be the session this time? Are we going to do? We got to listen. In all fairness to the governor and the legislature, they got to be able to do a lot of juggling with a lot of different things right now if we're going to come out of this. I'm just saying we got to be able to do it. All right, let me go to Jay in Richland Parish, what Tim just mentioned. Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing all right, man.
Good to hear from you, sir.
Listen to you every day.
Thank you, brother.
I just heard a guy talking about the insurance costs, and I was just going to say, man, I bought my house like 10, 12 years ago. I think my note was like $750. Mm-hmm. I worked hard, paid my house off. My insurance is now $500 a month.
Oh my God! You worked a new house note back into it, didn't you?
Exactly right. Now my property tax is probably $2,500 a year. And I mean, it's just getting out of control, man. I make decent money. I can pay for it, but it's just a point where, average people, I don't say they're going to afford this.
No, but it's not even the point that you can pay for it. The point that you have to pay for it. And we don't do anything about it. Jay, that's the problem. We're not trying to do anything about this. They can say they are, but our problem is going to be to do anything about this. We got to have the trial lawyers come to the table, and they won't. Insurance companies are not going to come here and write if they can't make money. They're not. So there's got to be some kind of balance. And I'm going to say what I've always said, Jay, you're getting beat up because there's a fight between the trial lawyers and the insurance company. You're in the middle. You're the one getting punched from both sides.
Oh, yeah. We're the consumer. We're paying for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just out of control, man.
Yeah, but, when I look at a guy like you to work to pay your house off, $750 note, man, people would love to have a $750 note right now, but you can't do that and get in any size house.
Oh, no. And then we combine that with the interest rates we have now. It's just, I don't see how I don't see how the housing market is going to survive this.
Yeah, unbelievable. All right, my brother. Thanks for calling. Appreciate the call. All right, we got to take a break. More to come. Moon Griffon Show right after this.
this outrageous insurance bill.
Man, everything Washington does makes life more expensive. Thank God we have Governor Landry.
What's he doing?
Well, while Washington's made a mess of things, inflation, gas, food, and the economy, Jeff Landry's fighting back, recruiting new jobs, trimming state government, and standing up for us.
Thank you. Everyone's struggling. Everyone except for the insurance companies. They're getting rich off record profits, while my rates keep going up.
Jeff Landry knows that. He's taking action. Jeff signed nearly 30 bills to reduce rates and vetoed a bill that lets insurance companies profit even more.
Oh, but they didn't like that.
Political insiders aren't happy, but Jeff won't slow down. He just keeps fighting for us and winning.
Governor Jeff Landry always puts families over special interests and fights for what's fair. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
Mr. Rogers said, look for the helpers. You can always find people who are helping. Thank you to all the first responders who put their lives in danger to help us when my brothers and sisters and mom and dad and grandpa and grandma need them.
Thank you, first responders.
This is what I signed up for as a first responder. I am constantly worried about being exposed to this virus and potentially bringing it back to my home and my family. I'm going to continue going to work day in and day out and providing help to those that need it.
We look out for the helpers because they look out for us. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Thank you, first responders. Love you. Mwah.
Be safe, look after yourself, and look after one another. Thanks.
Let's show up for first responders and their families. Go to firstrcf.org to find out how you can help today.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Brobridge, Lafayette, a Town Square media station, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pro Studio.
Milton is still almost in Category 5. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
There is high confidence that this hurricane is going to pack a major, major punch and do an awful lot of damage.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says crews by the hundreds already deployed
to begin immediate rescue operations as soon as the storm passes.
6 million people under evacuation orders on Florida's west coast. And while many have left, this man staying at his home in Tampa telling Fox,
I'm in a safe spot, and I just want to make sure that after everything with Helene, that I could be a first responder for both my home and business and my community if need be.
The latest update does have Hurricane Milton packing 145-mile-an-hour max winds now, down a little. Sarasota could get a direct hit late tonight or early tomorrow. Fox Weather's Britta Merwin's there.
And even if we have landfall here in Sarasota, Tampa Bay doesn't get an easy hand. This is going to reface everything.
There is a historic 10 to 15-foot storm surge forecast from the Tampa region down to the Fort Myers area with the potential for catastrophic flooding less than 2 weeks after Hurricane Helene caused widespread devastation. Florida to North Carolina, killing at least 232 people. This volunteer out helping in Swannanoa near Asheville tells Fox.
There are so many other mountain communities right now that still are without power, still without water. They don't have ways to get out of their communities, and they're not getting any help.
Former President Trump very critical of the federal response.
Trump posting on Truth Social, quote, the worst response to a storm or hurricane disaster in U.S. history, with another one coming. Our country cannot withstand 4 more years of these incompetent fools.
Fox's Brian Yennis in Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the former president will campaign this afternoon before a rally tonight in Reading. Democrats say Republicans are spreading FEMA disinformation.
Being a leader means lifting people up in a time of need and not manipulating them.
That's Vice President Harris on the CBS Late Show with Stephen Colbert. America's listening to Fox News.
The socialists who want to move into the White House have a lot of plans for your money. One of them is to control the price of food, and this is just the start. Could 401ks and IRAs be next on their agenda? It might sound far-fetched, but so did price fixing just months ago. Hi, Donald Trump Jr. here. If you've spent decades building your nest egg, you can act now to stop your savings from falling into the hands of the socialists. It's why Americans are turning to gold, the ultimate safe haven in uncertain times. To see how easy it is to diversify your retirement with gold, get a free info kit from my friends at Birch Gold by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. Birch Gold makes it easy to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold while preserving your tax advantage status. Don't wait any longer. Protect your financial future now. Text PROTECT to the number 989898 for your free info kit from Birch Gold, the only gold company I trust. Paid for by
It's time to win cash. Get your KPEL News apps ready because here's your chance to win up to $30,000. Just enter the following code into your KPEL News app where it says win cash, and make sure you listen for more codes throughout the day because the more codes you enter, the better your chances. Here is your next code.
And here's your 10 o'clock code, 660. 660 is your code for a chance to win cash with News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Court-appointed special advocates, or CASA, are specially trained volunteers that help secure safe homes for abused and neglected children. Don't let these innocent victims slip through the cracks of our complicated legal system. Get involved today. Call CASA at 268-5111. This nonprofit organization moment brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The views expressed in the following show are those of the hosts or hosts only. They do not represent News Talk 96.5 KPEL or Town Square Media.
Hi, hello. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is an honor to be with you today. 844-766-6607. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, if you want to be a part of the program, is your opportunity to be the voice. You can always email me, moon@moongriffon.com, moon@moongriffon.com. It's amazing. I tell y'all what, if we did a show just everybody calling on your insurance story. Everybody calling on your insurance story. I bet there'd be some insurance. Anybody got the insurance going down? I'm just kind of curious. Vehicle insurance, liability insurance, homeowner insurance. Anybody's taxes on their homes going down. It's amazing. So I ain't got mine yet. I cannot wait. I know what I've been paying. I don't pay mine in my house. No. Okay, I don't. That's kind of odd. Most people go and do it, but I want to see what I'm paying. I want it separate. So I pay it at the end of the year. And so I'm getting ready to get mine. I hope it's as pretty as my $420 a month increase on my health care that Barack Obama helped me with. Barack Obama helped me. All you people paying $19 a month. Go get gov.healthcare, whatever the heck it is. This insurance thing is outrageous. And so we're trying to elect a new president of the United States. And we really only got one choice. One choice by far. And let me go ahead and prove it. So I got two clips here of the one and only Kamala Harris. That brilliant brainiac who loves small business people, loves small business. And when they ask a simple question, everybody knows what Biden-Harris has done to this country. No borders. Fentanyl deaths outrageous, 100-something thousand a year. The rapes, the murders, the killings, people from some of these illegals, terrorists, people that have been put in prison over almost probably 1 million that we know of, but it's 20, 30 million people. It's probably a lot more. We don't know the terrorists. They hadn't struck yet. The inflationary numbers that are devastating us. In a normal world, Trump would win 90% of the votes in all 50 states. But we're not living in a normal world with social media and the left. So I got 2 clips. First, we'll do The View. It's only about 17 seconds. And we got her on Colbert. And all they're trying to do is get her, they're giving her a softball. Tell us what you're going to do different than Biden. What separates you from Biden? It's just simple. I mean, it's just 1 + 1 is 2. She can't even get to 2. She can't get it right. She don't want to answer the question. How hard is this to say, Joe Biden did this, here's what I'm going to do? And then she, on one of them, I don't know if this is the one, Walker, but the one I had, she buckled down even harder that she's going to do what Joe does. And then Joe Biden said, oh, Kamala Harris has been on every decision. Joe Biden says Kamala Harris has been there making every decision we made the whole 4 years. And you know, if you believe in Michael Moore and George Soros and Barack Obama, she's the lady you want to vote for. If you want to not be able to pay for food and not be able to pay for gas that goes in your vehicle to go to work and not and worry about if you want to worry more about fentanyl killing your kids, then you need to vote for Kamala. If you don't want to have a border and anybody can come in, and all these other countries now are regretting what they did, Kamala's the person you need to vote for. If you're not worried, if you don't care, and you don't love your kids and you don't love your grandkids, then Kamala's the person you need to vote for. Matter of fact, did y'all see, and I had this, I hope to find it, what the union guy said, the Democrat Party have F-bombed them? Well, they're F-bombing everybody. I mean, they F-bombing people need to realize that what the Democrat parties do, they end up ruining everybody. So, and I'll get to all that in a minute. So let's play a couple of them, Walker. Let's go with quick 17 seconds. All they're trying to do is get her to separate herself from Biden. Here we go.
Well, if anything, would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
You're right. The impact of higher inflation, the impact of what the illegals are doing with fentanyl, killing people, the impact of every time I pick up a story, somebody's been raped or beat up in the home. She's had an impact, all right. Black Lives, the police, what is it? They're trying to get rid of the police. She's all over all this stuff. Why? What's the general consensus? Obama. Obama ran his 8 years. Obama ran Biden. Obama was going to run Kamala Harris. Barack Obama, Satan's brother, I'm telling y'all, who wanted to fundamentally transform this country to something it never was meant to be. That's the first one. So she's admitting, Biden worked hand in hand to get all this prosperity going on out there. She wants to take credit for all this prosperity going on out there where you can't pay your insurance bills. I'm just saying. All right, the next one's a little longer. This is her with Colbert. Walker, he's a late-night talk show host. I don't ever watch him. I think he's an idiot. But he's a late-night talk show host. Is he on Comedy Central? Okay, you don't know either. I don't know. I tell you how much late-night TV I watch. But he's a big whack for the left. Here's Colbert trying to talk to her.
Polling shows that a lot of people, especially independent voters, really want this to be a change election, and that they tend to break for you in terms of thinking about change. You are a member of the President administration. Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I noticed.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly, I love the American people, and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic, and And I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity and in that way grow the strength of our nation. So, for example, my economic policies, I think of it and I've named it as creating an opportunity economy.
Folks, Jesus come back today. She, first of all, wrapped arm around Biden and said, but I'm not Joe Biden, I'm not Donald Trump, big whoopee cushion. We know that. How close are you to Barack Obama? Insanity himself. The first time I saw Barack Obama talk and speak, I said, this man's evil. And he is. And she is, too. Folks, I'm gonna play the second one more time. I just want you to listen when nothing works between the ears because you don't want it to. This is dangerous to elect someone like her. You might not can tell young people, and you can't tell real liberal people. She is dangerous, but so is Barack Obama. And so she doesn't even answer questions. She doesn't even get close to answering a question. They want to separate her and Colbert or CBS. Okay, that don't surprise me. Now we found out that the 60 Minutes thing that they did with her was doctored several times. So here's Stephen Colbert, CBS, I guess, late night. I don't stay up that late. Just listen to her. Just listen to this woman. Here we go.
Polling shows that a lot of people, especially independent voters, really want this to be a change election, and that they tend to break for you in terms of thinking about change. You are a member of the President administration. Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump. And so when we think about the significance of what this next generation of leadership looks like, were I to be elected president, it is about, frankly, I love the American people, and I believe in our country. I love that it is our character and nature to be an ambitious people. We have aspirations, we have dreams, we have incredible work ethic, and I just believe that we can create and build upon the success we've achieved in a way that we continue to grow opportunity and in that way grow the strength of our nation. So, for example, my economic policies, I think of it and I've named it as creating an opportunity economy.
It's significant of time. Walker, you impressed? Walker, make you want to go vote for her. Can you tell me anything that woman just said? I didn't think so. That's running for the president of the United States for the Democrat Party. Tim Walz is worse than her. That could be the commander-in-chief one day. That's the brainiac that the left is putting up. Well, you know why they put up people like her? Because it's so easy to control her, like she's not even there. Same thing with Biden. He was as bad as he was 4 years ago. Okay? It's a sin and a shame. She's the change candidate. She really is, but yet she was right there with Biden to make all these decisions that they made the last 4 years. And he didn't run. He didn't run because he was horrendous. I know he has some stuff problems between his, but horrendous. So then you give it to somebody who's younger, who has no clue her economic policy. Can somebody name her economic policy? Hug, I like small businesses, and I think what a hug, group hug. You know what economic policy is? Group hug. Everybody hug each other. Group hug. Kamala Harris. That's her economic policy. Group hug. See how far that gets you. All right. Make sure you wear your mask. It's important. All right. We take a break. Be back. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
Louisiana's only fiberglass manufacturer and fabricator, C-Safe Fiberglass Grading and Structural Systems has provided corrosion-resistant products to the Gulf Coast for over 45 years. Our fiberglass grading, cable trays, and structural shapes are ideal to replace corroded, rotting building products and can be custom fabricated by the best fiberglass craftsmen in the world, right here in Lafayette. Contact SeaSafe or visit our website at seasafe.com. That's SEA like the ocean, SAFE.com.
If you've got some projects to do around the house and you need the voice of experience, of local voice, somebody that can help you and knows Louisiana, you need to check out Stein Home and Yard. They're a Louisiana company, founded, established here. They've been based here. Their story dates back all the way to 1946. Stein Home and Yard has all the things you need to make your house ready for fall. Great deals on fall plants like mums, as well as all sorts of handy items you need for your house. Need to upgrade your power tool game? They've got great deals on DeWalt power tools. They also have great deals on grills for your next tailgate for the big game this weekend. Traeger pellet grills, Weber grills, Charbroil, so many great brands, and it's all right there at your fingertips. Just pull them up, steinhome.com. Steinhome.com is where you need to go to find the greatest deals on your home improvement needs. Steinhome.com, a great Louisiana company.
This is Moon Griffon. The biggest complaint about solar power is the battery storage. Well, no more. Now, Solar Louisiana offers giant battery storage solutions from the top names like Panasonic, LG, and more. Solar Louisiana will install residential home solar systems with enough battery storage to get you through any outages. And say goodbye to your electric bill, as Solar Louisiana will custom fit a system to your electrical needs. Online at solarlouisiana.net. Your energy independence company, Solar Louisiana. Taxes. Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Louisiana-owned Atlas Foundation Repair, 800-256-1010. Call Tony Arpino. I have known him for years. Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Moon Griffon Show. It is an honor to be with you today on Hump Day. 844-766-6607 is the number. Yeah, I look at the presidential race. I'm going, how can this woman get a vote? They got just as many Democrat voters that are complaining about what's going on in this country by the Biden-Harris administration. And if they can't correlate together, this is what they've done together, then you don't have a brain process. You don't really let yourself think. You don't know how to properly think for yourself. Are you what you want to do, Griffon, or vote the way you want to vote? No, keep voting the way you vote. It's working really good for communist China. Working great for communist China. They love it. They love the weakening of the most powerful country in the world. They love it. They love us running up debt that we can't pay back. They love watching everything skyrocket where people can't afford to eat. They love people having higher debt. China loves it. China loves that we buying all the Green New Deal stuff that they don't believe in, but they're selling it to us, but they're not participating themselves. That ought to throw up a red flag in itself. John Kerry, who served in Vietnam. The country benefiting from the climate are the ones that are laughing at us as they're building coal plants and they're going to have plenty of energy for their people and to fight wars and stuff. Not us. They just buying every elected official and business person that'll take $1. I mean, that's what's going on. China loves it. China loves we fighting between us because we walked away from the type nation we were. They love we fighting over having operations to remove the sex organ of a 10-year-old. They love it. Think this is cool. Because while we busy fighting, they're producing green energy EVs and windmills and things like that we over here buying, and then we're getting away from the one thing that made us great. And I got to tell you, out of all the inventions I could possibly think of, with the exception of maybe toilet paper, all is the best. And by the way, I don't think you can make toilet paper without oil. So all probably tops toilet paper. But China loves it, man. They love this. They're making tons of money off of stupidity while we run up the national debt. They want to kill 100,000 people, mostly young people, every year, send a bunch of fentanyl across the border. They love we don't have a border. They can send anything across this country now to run the United States of America so they become the communist superpower. One day people are going to look up and say, see, capitalism didn't work. Capitalism quit working when we quit trying it. Being free quit working when we quit trying it. Because we let all these people start, oh, we're just not fair over here. Well, if you want fairness, go to China and see how fair they treat you. Go to Iran and Iraq and see how fair they treat you. Go to Russia and see how fair you get treated. Go check them out. Go to live in Cuba and see how fair they are. What we do with this fairness thing, we run a country. And I just don't want to go through a Great Recession and Depression. I don't. China wants us to go through one. China would love for us to be in a Great Depression. Now, they're going to be in a depression, too, because they depend on us. They depend on our politicians to do stupid stuff. The other reason I don't like when things get like they are now is people like China and them can start a war. They love a war when things get tough. And, folks, we can't defend ourselves if things cost so much. You can't crank up the faucet. And see, I read this all the time. I read an article the other day, and it just cringed, but it was everything I've been talking about. All gas companies don't want Trump to drop the Green New Deal, especially on the part where they're getting all them tax credits. And, folks, it's not $100, billions that they can put to the bottom line. That's why they accepting the Green New Deal is the money that comes with it. They fought it until it was passed, and then they took the money. And it's causing the problems we got. China loves with the United States. China would love Kamala Harris to be president. That's just not the way to do it. All right, when we get back, why are the unions flipping on the Democrats and why are the unions F-bombing the Democrats? But the unions are not the only ones that ought to be mad at Democrats. I'll give you some more groups that ought to be mad. We'll be right back.
If you are a loved one or suffering from addiction, listen to Springfield Wellness Center's founder, Paula Norris Metayer.
We help people through their detox with minimal withdrawal symptoms. Even though it's a 10-day treatment, I look at the first 4 or 5 days as the brain restoration piece. And when the brain restoration piece turns on, that's when we have patients go, wow, a light bulb turned on or a switch was turned on. All of a sudden, their prefrontal cortex is working. And their midbrain is also working. They're not craving. They're thinking clearly. They see things clearly. And they have more confidence.
Put your addiction behind you. Call Springfield Wellness Center, 225-755-9566.
Just call us. That's all. And we'll be waiting for you.
225-755-9566. 755-9566. Springfield Wellness Center. SpringfieldWellnessCenter.com.
I've been bragging about Dino Hardwoods for a long time. A good friend, Charles Altman. They do an excellent job. And if you're looking for unique or hard-to-find hardwood lumber, plywood, and molding, is Dino Hardwoods. That's where you need to go. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com. Trust Dino Hardwoods for all your hardwood lumber and cypress needs. With the holiday season fast approaching, as you know, a timeless handmade gift using quality lumber by Dino just means more. With 3 great locations to serve you now, Broussard, Louisiana, Shreveport, Louisiana, and now he's expanded in Tyler, Texas. Folks, there's something for every discerning woodworker at Dino. Go to DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com, and check out the unique and hard-to-find hardwood, lumber, plywood, and molding that you can't just find anywhere. Charles Altman, trust me, is not a better man in the business. He knows what he's doing, and he wants to service you. DinoHardwoods.com, DinoHardwoods.com.
Have you been suffering? This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
y'all all? Welcome, Moon Griffon Show. It is a beautiful day on a Friday. Gorgeous weather here. I wish I could say the same thing about my friends in Florida, man. Wow. Matthew James Business Tax Reduction Hotline, 844-766-6607. So let me tell you what so in 40 years, but maybe Reagan, the Teamsters Union they endorse Democrats. They give money to Democrats. Democrats are always in bed with the Democrats. All of a sudden, the Teamsters decided not to make an endorsement yet when they did a poll said that Trump got 58%. Kamala Harris got 34%, so they didn't make an endorsement. And what the Teamster boss says is President Sean O'Brien torches Democrat Party. They have F-bombed us over. Now, let's stop there for a second. They have this is if you go look at communism and Marxism, this is what they do. They get a bunch of people. They get them for many, many years to go along with them. And mind you, the Democrat Party cannot show anything that they have. Obamacare is destroying the healthcare system. Through Medicare, Medicaid, we saw it through COVID. We saw doctors running the hospitals because they couldn't survive without it. It was all designed. None of that was accidental. Look at what the Democrat Party has done to the black community in the inner cities. Let's go to these big, big cities. You want to go see some people living like hell? Go live. But yet they there. Hey, vote for me. I'm going to get you something. What the Teamsters are saying, the black community can say today about the Democrat Party. They choose not to, but they could say it right this second. The same thing the Teamsters are saying. Same thing with women. Same thing with women. Abortion, killing a baby in a womb. They've convinced people that's just the best way to go. And there are people out there that believe this is the best way to go because they've convinced you. One day they're going to wake up too. Women say, well, how are you going to be protected with Kamala Harris and Joe Biden, Barack Obama, because they give you health care, they give you a check, and they give you food? Nobody needs the government to give them anything. Nobody. They have done this throughout their history, but yet they got a magical touch for coming back and getting these people to vote for them, and it's playing Santa Claus. The Teamsters have figured it out. Teamsters boss said Democrats need to look in the mirror as party loses support from union members. They got themselves to blame, but the problem is the unions went along with them because there's always money. I'm a Democrat, but they have F-bombed us over for the last 40 years. Same way with the black community. Hispanics and people that are coming in illegally. One day we'll say, look, what did the Democrats do for me? Everything they touch, they ruin. And for once, anyway, 40 years. This is what they've been doing. This is what they're doing to everybody. Teamsters made waves this year by breaking from Democrats for the first time in decades by declining to endorse a presidential candidate. Internal polling showed Trump was at 59.6%, Kamala Harris at 34%. So, well, we better not make an endorsement. O'Brien acknowledged he's being attacked from the left over the decision, but he told somebody on a podcast in 2.5 years that he's been president of the Teamsters. The union has given Democrat machine $15.7 million and only $340,000 to the GOP. $15.7 million to get out the vote. $15.7 million that you take from your union members and go give it to the Democrat Party, only to watch jobs and things get hurt because their policies now, I don't know what the Democrats 30, 40 years ago, but now it's more about being like China, controlling people's lives and livelihoods and controlling what you can say and First Amendment rights and believe in the Green New Deal, which, by the way, is hurting the unions that are working in the car manufacturing places because they want to shove an EV up our rear end. And nobody wants to buy that crap, so now they're cutting some of those jobs. So, you know, people say the Democrat Party is a party for working people. The Democrat Party is about the elite controlling a bunch of people. The Democrat Party is a Bill Gates party. That's the Bill Gates type people. That's who the Democrat Party is now. They're not about the working people. They're about the very wealthy telling everybody what to do. Go check it. Check out your history books across the world. This is what they've always done. He said, you got the Republicans who are now saying, hey, we want to be the working class party, right? And okay, you got a great opportunity right now to do that. This guy spoke at the Republican National Convention. And, of course, it sparked controversy. Of course it did. By the way, he addressed the Republican Party. He wasn't even invited to come address the Democrat Party because they don't want to hear the truth. He said to Democrats, if you're 60% of our members aren't supporting you, the F-bomb system is broken and you need to fix it. Stop pointing fingers at Sean O'Brien and pointing fingers at the Teamsters Union. Look in the mirror. If the Democrat Party and people that customarily vote for the Democrats, which would be the black community, the unions, teachers unions, university people, they're well-educated, that don't care about any of this affecting them. They use and abuse even the Democrat. Look, Democrats, black Democrats that have tried to come out against the Democrat Party are blasted. They're literally blasted. A black Democrat that comes out and says, Uncle Don, he don't know what he's talking about. And they try to get him right. And they just misuse and abuse him. This guy talked about the Republican Party being the party to working people, so he can't address the Democrat Party. Because let me tell you about them. Control, 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 control. This is what they want to do. Black America wakes up and look at the Democrat Party. They'll never vote for them because you're not going anywhere unless you go somewhere by yourself where you got up and you made a living, just like white, black, green, or yellow. It doesn't matter. They make these promises to these people and they show up because somebody that don't know how to provide for themselves because they're so used to living on give me a check for food, give me a check for housing, give me a check for and you get locked in. You can't prosper in the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is not a prospering party for the United States of America. The Democrat Party is a control freak, and the richest control, and that's why they want to get your Second Amendment right. They don't want people to have guns because they don't think you're capable of being responsible when really 99.9% of gun owners are the most responsible people you know of. You're not responsible with free speech. Hillary Clinton said it the other day. So did John Kerry. John Kerry wants to do something about the First Amendment. So does Hillary Clinton. They want to be able to give you Barack Obama. We need two sources of news. We can now go run to the Democrat Party, blacks, the unions, and tell them, here's what you believe. This is all you need to know. And when it doesn't work out for them, guess what? No big deal. Because at that point, the unions turning on the Democrats is what's happening in every country around the world. The people who help them get to all this power are the people they're going to turn on next. And they're just going to wipe them out the way. They control the unions and they control the black vote because they literally control them. The Democrat Party enslaves more people than anybody in the world right here in the United States of America. Party of filth and a party of hate. So what do you want to be like? Why don't you make Kamala Obama say, what country you want to be like? And don't say, well, we're going to be different. Because socialism, Marxism, and communism is the same everywhere. Every time it's been tried. Capitalism is what works. That's why that's why people have prospered in this country. Not what they're trying to take us to. And the unions, black America, that keep voting for Democrats, you have no chance. They're not going to make it where you have a chance. They're going to make it where you're going to say, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, master. Because that's what the Democrat Party is all about. Party of filth, party of hate. It really is. Let's take a break. 844, they will use and abuse anybody that gets in their way. Anybody. We'll be right back. Nestled in gently rolling hills in North Louisiana is a place that produces the finest Louisiana wines around, Landry Vineyards. This place is phenomenal. Not only are they passionate about growing wine grapes and making Landry Vineyards wine, they also have cottages and RV sites you can rent, tours, and live music on Saturdays and tastings Monday through Saturday. Available in over 650 stores throughout Louisiana, I encourage you to visit and try Landry wine direct from Landry Vineyards. This is another great Louisiana company that has my full support, and they're Louisiana certified. A red blend they labeled Bayoutage, Blackberry Merlot, Cabs, Rosé, Petite Syrah, dry and sweet whites, and many, many other wines. Learn more about their wines and their vineyard online at LandryVineyards.com. This is Moon Griffon. My lovely bride and I love the wines from this great Louisiana company, Landry Vineyards, and so will you. Go visit their beautiful winery and find them in your local grocery store. If they don't have Landry Vineyards wine, ask and ask again. LandryVineyards.com. Woo, good wine right here.
It started with direct messages. That's how they got to my son. Gavin was just 17 and looking forward to college. He was contacted by online predators pretending to be a teenage girl. He was the victim of sexual extortion. In less than 2 hours after that first message, Gavin died by suicide. It's a pain I don't want any other parent to feel. Social media is causing an epidemic of bullying, anxiety, and depression, and it's leaving kids vulnerable to the kind of predators that targeted my son. We have to hold big tech accountable and pass the Kids Online Safety Act. I couldn't protect my son, but now it's my mission to make sure all kids are protected. I'm a father and a proud conservative, and I'm here to tell Speaker Johnson, pass the Kids Online Safety Act, because nothing is more important than protecting our kids.
Paid for by Issue One Action, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. IssueOneAction.org.
Hi, y'all. Welcome back. Last segment of this hour, 844-766-6607. Matthew James, Business and Tax Reduction Hotline. All right, so hurricane. I saw what somebody said. We got to do something quicker for climate change. This is getting ridiculous. We need to double gas prices. I'm going, oh, my God. I can't believe people. Let's just go back, 1900. Yes, what Florida's going through is tough. Remember Louisiana? Katrina and Rita in 2005. And then a few years ago, we had two hit again. If you go back in the 50s and 60s, we had 2, 3 of them hit us in a year. All devastating. You don't have as many people on the coast as you back then than you do now. The storms are no more bigger than stronger. You got more. You know, if you let me ask you a question. So Galveston had 40,000 people. Okay, do me a favor. You ain't got a computer. Look on your phone for me real quick. Population of Galveston, Texas. That's all I need to know. Population of Galveston, Texas was 40,000 people. I have no clue how big Galveston is. No clue at all. What is it? Let me know when you get. No clue. I don't know if it's going to be 100,000 people, 1 million people. I have no clue. But I'm just kind of curious. Because as we with the help of social media and the media pushing this stuff about more and stronger, bigger, but none of that's true. None of it, not even close. Rising seas, none of that's true. Can none of that be proven? The seas are not rising where they're going to take over everything. Even if the seas rise, they go down too. They give it to you yet? So 53,000. Okay, so it was 40,000 back then, according to this. Hurricane September 1900, deadliest natural disaster, one of the deadliest one of all time. 8,000 people died. I don't think we'll lose 8,000 people because we know more now. That was just in Galveston, Texas, though. Category 4, second strongest ever. They detected it August the 27th. System landed in Cuba as a tropical storm. Hit the Gulf, rolled in the Gulf of Mexico, intensified. Just what you said. It's 1900 now. There's no global warming. No man-made global warming. We'd have all this oil and all the stuff that we have now. How can one do this then? It's just Mother Nature. They take in every weather event and tied it into something. That's a lot. September 8th, the storm reached Galveston, which at the time had a population of about 40,000 and benefited economically and culturally from its status as the largest port city in Texas. The storm's tides were 8 to 15 feet. That's pretty much what we're hearing about this one. 130-mile-an-hour wind. That's pretty much what this is going to be. One came from the other side of the Gulf into Texas. This is coming from the Mexico side into the Florida. Some 8,000 were lost, but according to official estimation, as many as 12,000 people may have died from the result of the storm. 12,000 people. Storm went up through the Great Lakes in New England, which experienced strong winds, gusts, and heavy rainfall, and guess what? A lot of flooding. Just like Helene and just like this one. This is 1900. How can it be? By the way, we go through periods of more hurricanes than not. We go through periods of stronger hurricanes than not. Just go read a little bit of history, folks. Galveston raised the elevation of many new buildings by more than 10 feet. The city also built an extensive seawall to act as a buffer. Despite the reconstruction, the city's status as the premier shepherd port was lost to Houston after the disaster. It's a natural disaster. Natural disasters are stuff that will happen. By the way, natural disasters have nothing to do with forest fires unless it's a lightning strike. And most forest fires don't start from lightning strikes. Start from people with matches and being careless. So droughts, floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, hot, cold, all natural. I don't know why. It's a natural process. Okay? Scientists ought to be looking at it. But for the scientists to have a consensus over what they're telling us now is absolutely the dumbest thing I've ever seen or read in my whole life. If you just go look at history. 50s, hey, go back in the 20s and 30s. There were a lot of horrendous hurricanes. Then go to the 50s and 60s and go read your history on hurricanes. Early 2000s, 90s, you're having some now. We didn't have none for 2 years. Hit the state of Louisiana, not 2 years. There could be a time we could go 5 or 6 years without one, 10 years. Well, that ain't happening. No, that can't happen. It's happened before. Folks, it's happened before. And it's going to happen again. It's just when you watch all this stuff on the news, I feel sorry for people. Man, what about our people in Louisiana? I feel sorry for people in Louisiana just as much. Anyway, I keep reading this stuff and they jumping up and talking about we need to double the price of gas. Yeah, doubling the price of gas helps people to accomplish what? Yeah, somebody let me know. I'm just kind of curious. Somebody let me know by doubling gas prices. Who is that helping? You think by driving an EV, not eating meat, not having children, getting rid of fossil fuel, which is really impossible. If we're going to have a quality of life, get rid of fossil fuels, you can't use cell phones anymore. Now, you go try to take cell phone from this younger generation. It wouldn't bother me. Somebody said, how would you operate without a cell phone? Nicely. I've done it before. Just the way the world operates now. Put my old pager back on. Nah, I better not do that. Well, I wouldn't do that if I was going to the Gaza. But anyway, going to Lebanon, that area, I probably wouldn't use a pager. I just wouldn't advise it if you're in those areas. So, You read this, you see this. It's a storm. It's a hurricane. I know it's bad. When somebody can show me how man can get rid of hurricanes, I'm all ears. But just think, if we don't have oil and gas and diesel and we keep getting hurricanes and tornadoes and bad weathers and drought, what's going to happen then? But I'll tell you what, you don't want to find out, I'll bet that. How many more people would die? A lot more. All right. We'll take a break. You're listening to the Moon Griffon Show.
Look at this outrageous insurance bill.
Man, everything Washington does makes life more expensive. Thank God we have Governor Landry.
What's he doing?
Well, while Washington's made a mess of things, inflation, gas, food, and the economy, Jeff Landry's fighting back, recruiting new jobs, trimming state government, and standing up for us.
Thank you. Everyone's struggling. Everyone except for the insurance companies. They're getting rich off record profits, while my rates keep going up.
Jeff Landry knows that. He's taking action. Jeff signed nearly 30 bills to reduce rates and vetoed a bill that lets insurance companies profit even more.
Oh, but they didn't like that.
Political insiders aren't happy, but Jeff won't slow down. He just keeps fighting for us and winning.
Governor Jeff Landry always puts families over special interests and fights for what's fair. Paid for by Protect Louisiana Values.
For the absolute best in local Cajun food, check out Prejean's in their 2 locations in Carencro and Broussard today.